absolute blast. City of Elkhart out in front. City of Mitchell walking in P3 right now. Still has an opportunity to make it. P4 right now, number 23. Indiana, Michigan Power.
This ain't Monaco, baby. This is Elkhart, Indiana. Hello everyone, welcome to the Elkhart Mini Tour 2023, brought to you by Cloudless and Indy, a Cloudless Media production. So, if you're new here, which I don't want to say most of you are, I would hope that my subscribers are watching my video. This is just a laid back kind of a format, and this will probably one of the most lax tours you've ever been on. All right, so feel free to actively watch or just have me in the background. But what I suggest before we get started is find a nice comfortable spot and pour yourself a glass of your favorite beverage. I myself will be enjoying the Weemac Scottish style ale by Sun King Brewery, and that's what I'll be enjoying on this tour. So let me pop this right open, and I'll be using my St. Joseph's 14-ounce glass. It's been a while since I've used it, and we'll get this tour on the road. I wasn't sure if I wanted to make this a podcast video or just do it like this, but obviously I've decided to just do it like this. The glass is poured. Let's start the tour. Welcome. So, on this tour, the way I'll be doing it is I basically have a Honeyview or my slideshow set up. So I just have a bunch of pictures I'm just going to run through, and I'm just going to talk about the pictures. And the reason why, though, that it's called the mini tour is the reason myself and my wife were in Elkhart was for family reasons, and we had some time and figured, why don't we just explore a little bit of Elkhart, so that's why it's called the mini tour, because we went to a few places, and hopefully we'll be back and we'll be able to have a part 2 of the mini tour. So let's get right on it. As you can see, this first slide here, I don't know why my mouse isn't showing on the video. Oh well. But as you can see here with this first picture, this is pretty much downtown. I didn't know what the barricades were for, but in the intro video where you can see the Elkhart Grand Prix, that's why the road was closed, so that people can walk from the businesses to the park. Thought that was pretty cool. That was my first time ever seeing anything like that, like in real life, outside of, an actual go-kart park. I think that's really cool. I'm like, oh my God, this is basically how Lewis Hamilton, started. Lewis Hamilton is the Formula One racer. I think still races for, I want to say Mercedes, I think. Maybe I'll post a picture somewhere in the video. All right, on to the next one. Oh, well, that's whole. You guys can't see that one yet. We'll come to that eventually. but this is a random one because the pictures aren't in an exact order, unfortunately. But here you have the Havila Beardsley. I think the full name is the Ruthmere Havila Beardsley House, which I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's one of the houses from the original founders. I think the Beardsley family. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to actually do the tour. We wanted to tour the properties. I think there's 2 properties I took a picture of, but I would highly recommend checking that out. If you want to know where that is, that's on West Beardsley Avenue. I will post a Google Maps picture of that. So that's on the corner of West Beardsley Avenue and North Main. Going forward, there's a Beardsley Park. So apparently in Elkhart, there's this island called Island Park, and it's literally an island. And along the banks, like on the inland, are these random parks, like Beardsley Park. Let's see, just random picture of a house. I think there's like an American park. Continuing on to the tour. So the very first stop on the tour was a place called the Himmel House. And it's like this little small German grocery store in Elkhart. And I was like, I was super excited because the last time I went to Elkhart, I really wanted to go here. And I think I stopped by this place like twice. The first time I'm like, well, that's weird. They're closed, but then I realized I was like 10 minutes early, and I'm like, you know what? I'll come back. Came back, and they were still closed. Realized that this sign was on the door. So hopefully the next time I'm back up there, they'll be open. Continuing on the tour. Wow, okay, so this is just some more stuff for Secret Door Games, which was one of that pictures that you guys saw with the guys in the gaming room. I just thought, I'd show, hey, this place seems like a pretty cool place if you're into games. I think they are on the main street. They're pretty much in downtown Elkhart. Yes, so Secret Door Games is on South Main Street between West Lexington Avenue and East High Street. So moving on. Well, that's weird. I think I might be going backwards. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay, there we go. I was going backwards. All right, do apologize. That was actually our last stop on the tour. Okay, so I meant to start off funny picture. Just playing with some Snapchat filters here. And when we first pulled in, well, maybe not first pulled in, but we got stopped by a train, and I'm like, oh, that looks really cool. I like trains, so I thought I'd take a picture. Thought this was a pretty cool picture. So took a picture of a train. So the first stop, the actual first stop on the Elkhart mini tour was this building. When I saw this building, this kind of reminded me of a building in Sarasota, Florida. But why did we come here? Well, if you can see this sign here, it's a little overgrown, which I absolutely love. But it's called Steelyard Coffee. And if you want to know where that is, let me pull it up on my Google Maps here. Steelyard Coffee is, I think the address is North Michigan, even though on Google Maps it shows that it's on the corner of West Crawford Street and Prospect Street. So I'm not exactly sure where North. Oh, I see where North Michigan is. Although I don't know if you can actually access the property from North Michigan. We accessed it from Prospect. And it's actually kind of interesting because it's a fairly large building. Although I think only part of it, like one half of it, is actually open to the public. And so you can see, I think, what is it, like Forever Holland Plant Company, Birds Gotta Fly, which is a home goods store. And of course, there's Steelyard Coffee, which is why we went there. And I've got some pictures of that. But first, let's go into the building. Got a picture of the entrance there. Ooh, look at that. Very quaint, very old. I said it reminded me of a warehouse in Sarasota, Florida, but what it actually reminded me of when I was there was the Midlands Antique Market in downtown Indy. If you've never been there, I highly recommend you go. 2 stories, some great stuff. We've gotten some great stuff there. Our liquor cabinet, which is our dry bar, we got there. We got a drafting table there. We've gotten some neat stuff from there at a great price. Some stairs. We didn't go upstairs. The wife didn't want to go up there, so we just kept moving on to the home goods store. Really like this table. Thought it would make a good poker table. Oh. This chair we really liked. It's actually a really big chair. And a very comfy chair. Thought that bike was pretty cool. Oh, I saw this, and this kind of reminded me of, I think it's the, I want to say it's the Jay-Z album, with the baby in a crown. A part of me wants to say it's Kanye West, but I have a pretty good feeling that it's Jay-Z. If I'm, whichever the answer is, I'll post the picture of the album cover somewhere on here. But I was like, I'm going to take a picture of that. But look how big this cabinet is. All right. So we have made it to the Steelyard Coffee. And this place was pretty nice. It actually reminded me, once again, of being back in Sarasota, Florida. If any of you guys have ever been within, say, the past 10 years, there used to be a place called Big E's Coffee House right across the street from Ringling Museum on, I want to say, what? South Tamiami Trail? I think it's South Tamiami. No, I think it's North Tamiami Trail. I'm not sure, but it's on Tamiami Trail. Okay, across the street from Ringling School of Arts. And I remember after high school, I went to that cafe pretty much almost every day. Almost lived there. And as well as other people. So it was very sad to see them go. And when I saw this place, it kind of reminded me of that. Just swarmed with the nostalgia. So moving on. Oh, well, what did we get? I'm not sure if I can zoom in. Let me see if I can zoom in here so you guys can take a look at the menu. But I got a cold brew. Oh, there we go. You can see my mouse. Okay, so I basically got a cold brew. It was crossed out, but they had it. And the wife, she got a cinnamon mocha latte, I think. It was supposed to have cinnamon. It didn't have cinnamon. We were slightly disappointed. But it was still good, nonetheless. Okay. Well, to me, she didn't care for it. There we go. Peppermint mocha. Yeah, mine was good. Hers was okay. But like I said, this coffee house was really nice. Definitely reminded me of back home. We moved through, and there was like a whole nother section with more antiques and stuff like that. Just a really nice space. Another cool poker looking table. Maybe just hang out, cigars, whiskey. Excuse me. Looked like an old piano. All right, so we're moving on to the tour, okay? And while I was looking up places to visit in Elkhart, this place came up called The Vine. If you know me, which probably most people watching this video don't really know all that well, but I absolutely love wine. And it was wine that kind of started me on this journey, that kind of was the inspiration for this channel, Cloudless and Indy, because I have another channel called Wine In, and but I haven't started making wine videos yet. But it was because of me putting that on the back burner for a moment that this channel got up and running. But I digress. The Vine. Apparently this building is very historic, so let's head inside. But as you see, this is the intro picture. Oh, never mind. I forgot. We didn't go to the Vine right away. We decided to go to the Bookworm bookstore. Let's see here, the Bookworm bookstore. So that's on South Main Street. And I had to take a picture of this because, you know, the new Barbie movie's out. Come on, Barbie, let's go to the bookstore. And to the bookstore we did. Look at this. And you can just smell how old this building is. And just the wood. You know, it just reminded me of being back home. Well, no, sorry. Scratch that. It reminded me of when I was a kid, when I used to visit my grandmother in the Bronx. But look at this. So many books. Absolutely love this. Also kind of reminds me a little bit of the German Village bookstore in Columbus. See, just got to tell you what's where. That's the basement. But before we go down to the basement, we went to the back. If you're a If you're a Danielle Steele fan or a James Patterson, or even a Patricia Cornwell, you'll definitely find your books here. For any of you author lovers there, you see any books that you have? You see any books that you don't have that you want? Check it out. Look at that. You got another view there. There's a lot of kids' books over here. The bathrooms were surprisingly actually fairly decent. All right, that is the Wi-Fi password. And now we head down to the basement. It was pretty darn cramped at the basement. I think only one of the aisles was actually a decent width. All the other ones, like my shoulders, were kind of touching the books a little bit. But it goes, I think the basement is the exact length of the store upstairs. But it was real chill down there. I could definitely see, like, myself and some friends hanging out. I can definitely see people hanging out down there. This is me at the other end. See, they've got couches and chairs, exposed bricks. I absolutely love it. So, now, when we walked out of the bookstore, I saw this guy in the go-kart, had to take a picture, and I'm like, what in the world is this? And this is what inspired the intro. Got some more pictures there. The Elkhart Grand Prix. All right, moving on. The Coffee House Roastery. We didn't go inside there because we already had coffee. Apparently that building is on the National Registry of Historic Places. And I don't know if it's been so since 1895 or if that's just when the Department of the Interior was. But we'll just say since 1895. And I think this picture, I'm not sure where I took this picture at, but like I said, whole thing going on over there. All right, so now we have finally made it into the Vine. I actually kind of like this. I mean, it's a small little quaint bar, shelves in the background. You know, that's my kind of vibe right there. Got this here, and this is the hostess. I think that's the hostess, but I want to say she's taking us to the tables. You know, so this restaurant's really weird. I mean, pretty much everything that you're seeing right now that I've shown you Well, maybe not everything. I think there was a few spots I didn't take pictures of. But for the most part, that is the restaurant. And I think the other side, excuse me. And I think the other side is where the kitchen is. And it looks like they have a private room in the back. I like that. Toilette. I'm not sure if that's it's probably going to be French. I mean, I'm pronouncing it the German way. I don't think they say toilet in Spanish. Maybe they do. And I don't think that's how you say toilet in Italian. Could be wrong, but we're just going to go with French. The bathrooms are actually pretty nice. Should have taken a picture. But here is the menu. It's a fairly small menu. Got some appetizers here, salads, pizzas. As you can see, the appetizers are pretty darn pricey. But I don't think we got an appetizer though. I think we just went straight to the entree. Yeah, though we ended up just getting building our own burger and buying a glass of wine. I think I have a picture here, but first, look, the history of 214 South Main. And I really like that. I mean, me personally being a geography and history guy, which is how I even got into wine in the first place, you know, I love it when, you know, people, I guess, take interest in, you know, the history of things as much as I do. You know, going all the way back to the very first business. I'm assuming, you know, not many businesses do that, and I think that's amazing. And I want to say this building is connected to that roastery. So although that one I think said 1895, and this is 1885, but of course that's just when it was, you know, added to the registry. So only 10 years later was it added, assuming. But I just think that's pretty cool. And then you got the cocktail list. I just had to save it. In general, it's always interesting seeing different bars' signature cocktails. I mean, sure, every bar has most bars have like classic cocktails, but I think like a lot of them may like put their own spin on it, whatever. But it's just interesting seeing how every place makes their cocktails. Look at that. You can even drink your dessert. Like I said, we didn't get any of this. We just ended up purchasing a bottle of wine. But this is just very interesting here. And despite being a relatively small place, I find it amazing just their spirit list. Look at that. If you're into vodka, they got you. You know, although I do find it weird because this is like American. I'm not sure what that means exactly, but like unless American is a brand, there's Absolute Vodka, Double Cross, Grey Goose, Kettle One, Tito's, New Amsterdam, and of course, you know, you have your choices of rum, your tequila, pardon my Spanish, and of course they have reposado, because I can't, if I had a nickel for every time someone came to the bar asking for a reposado tequila, you know, look at all these choices for gin, including Bombay and Tanqueray. And Hendrix. You have to have the classics, right? Although it would be nice to see some Indiana spirits on there. That would be pretty cool. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. But this is the wine that we got. Domaine des Mochons Segre. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't remember the tasting notes. I do apologize. Okay, but this is a red blend. what I think there's like Grenache, Syrah, and one more thing that I cannot remember. But I will say that this, of course, is a village, and it's funny because I was actually originally going to order just a glass of this, but I asked the waitress, what she can tell me about the wine, what are the reviews on the wine perchance, and she wasn't really able to tell me. And so I had asked if I could see the bottle, and I mean, she thought it was a little weird, which I thought was a little weird, but when she went to go get the bottle, in the process of that, I changed my mind. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy the bottle. And I definitely got the fancy, the fine dining treatment when it came to the wine bottle. I want to say, I don't know if it was like a bartender, but someone else came with the wine. They did the whole opening it, let me have a sample so I can taste it, make sure it was good and not corked. And yeah, it was a good time. So if you're into that, if you like that kind of service when you're spending a lot of money on wine, I would definitely recommend the wine bar, right? Because when I go to a place, that emphasizes in their marketing, about their wine, being a wine bar and whatnot, I kind of expect that kind of atmosphere personally. That's just me. Do I have high expectations? I don't think so. Okay. But I digress. Let's move on. Yeah, I think they also, the waitress was saying, well, not the waitress, but the person who opened the bottle for us, the sommelier, you can say. She was saying that the guy who they get their wine from, was leaving, and that they weren't going to be able to get this wine anymore. So they were saying, if I like it, better take a picture of it, because they're probably not going to be seeing it again in that restaurant. So I did. So this is my wife's food. Look at that. Absolutely delicious. Everything was perfect. As you can see, we did have our daughter with us. I felt very European. I'm not sure what that means. But I guess to me, that means how do you say, having a family is just the reality of life, and so of course we have our baby with us, and it just so happened to be her feeding time too when we went. So yeah, I was starving, so I had already dug into my food, but it was I had to stop myself and take a picture real fast before I ate it all. But this was absolutely delicious. This is the coleslaw. I thought that the wine went very well with the burger. I like my burgers medium rare, personally. But I'm not sure if it went that great with the coleslaw. The coleslaw was great. I absolutely love the coleslaw. But I think that the coleslaw made the wine, or maybe brought out the acidity more in the wine, or maybe the wine brought out the acidity in the coleslaw. Long story short, was not a great pairing. Would not recommend unless you don't care, right? I like coleslaw, I like the wine, and chances are I'd probably do it again. Though if I went back there, I would probably just order a different wine because, try one that I haven't had before. All right, so after the Vine, we decided to walk because we had saw this alley earlier. Well, actually, we were trying to find this cupcake shop, and it just happened to be down this alley. And there we go in the next picture, Mini Delights Bake Shop. So let's walk down the alley. As you can see, There is a lot of art in this alley. Once again, just reminded me of New York City, and a little bit of Sarasota, Florida. You know, that's where I grew up, and you know, very large artist community there, and I personally love seeing that. Just reminds me of home a little bit. Some people would definitely agree with this. You can't buy happiness, but you can buy cake, and that's kind of the same thing. So this is inside. I was actually kind of surprised at how bare bones, or rather how simple, that's not the word, minimal, how minimalistic this, this bakery was. If that's the right term, cake shop, we'll just say bakery. Or pastry shop. I think that may be correct. I was kind of surprised at how minimalistic this pastry shop was, despite how big it was. But I think a lot of the buildings, or at least some of the buildings, which that's how it was with Secret Door Games, that building where you have one business up front on the main road, and then you have another business on the back. And I think that's how this was set up. So you have that back wall there, and I think there's a whole nother business on the front of that, which was kind of weird because when we pulled up, right, we saw the sign, but we're like, well, where's the pastry shop? It was very strange. So you had to actually walk. Thankfully, the sign was in the alley, so you had to actually walk down the alley and around to get to the pastry shop. And here's the menu. I was also kind of surprised too. They didn't really have much on the shelf. I really hope business is doing good. They look like they have some good stuff, but then again, it doesn't look like they have like the best location. Me personally, I don't know just because of like the things that had like inspired me like growing up. I absolutely love those businesses, which are very, I guess there's a lot of those like in New York or like major cities, whereas like there's these, how do you say, like almost speakeasies, like these secret places like only the locals know about, and driving on the main strip, you're never going to see them, right? But these places are popular, and they usually get their business from word of mouth. I absolutely love places like that. So I don't know if maybe that's how they're getting their business. I'm not sure, but yeah. On to the next one. We saw this. I think this is a strawberry shortcake. I want to say muffin, but we'll just say cupcake. Well, this is the entrance. I don't know why I took a picture after we left, but this is the picture of the back here. And this is the cupcake that my wife got. It is a s'mores cupcake. So I believe this is a graham cracker cupcake, and then you have the marshmallow and chocolate, and then of course, marshmallow on top. Alrighty, and this is the alley. And like I said before, where I was talking about the next destination, you see this pink door right here. I think that is the Tutu School. Let me see here. Yep, the Tutu School. I took a picture of that. Okay, so then we head to the front of the building to Secret Door Games. When we came up here earlier, to go to the Vine, they were not open, but they are open now. And it's kind of weird too, because when we went to the entrance, they did not really look open, although the open sign is there. But they are definitely open. Look at that. So this place was very big. Almost reminded me a little bit of Dark Side Games in Sarasota. Not the new location, which I think is on Boniva and Fruitville, or at least near there. At least near that intersection. It's a little, I think, eastward or northward. but their old location, when they used to be on, I think it was like South Washington, maybe, and they had like the three of the units that were all connected, like kind of in the middle. This kind of reminded me of that, even though what you're seeing right now is pretty much what you're getting. And they had some cool stuff there, you know. There's some cool stuff like the Monopoly by Bob Ross, or Bob Ross Monopoly, or the Nightmare Before Christmas Clue. And here's a flyer for the Elkhart Grand Prix. Although I'm not sure if the go-karts actually look like that. I mean, they certainly didn't look like that. As you can see from the videos, they looked like they were wearing plain clothes with helmets. But yeah, this is what was going on that weekend. I didn't know that was what was going on, but that is exactly what was going on, and we just so happened to be there. And that is, I guess, the back door to the Tutu School. Might be the front door technically. I'm not 100%. Yeah, I think the front door's right there where this fern is. Yep, got a close-up picture. Looks very cute. I mean, of course, it's literally for like kids, like small kids. You know, I mean, because those are some very small bars. Fun fact, I used to do, I was in gymnastics, like, when I was a kid. Like, when I say, like, well, I don't know if I was, like, fully in gymnastics, if it was, like, a summer thing or what. I just know that I did it. Yeah, that was a thing. We got some games here. Oh, and look at that. Oh yeah, the reason why I took a picture of these certificates of appreciation was just to show, I mean, hey, this is a game shop here, and you know, they give to Toys for Tots. You know, so I think that was something that's pretty admirable. You know, being a game store. And yeah, we are now at the conclusion of this mini tour. I think we're almost 40 minutes in now. Well, I mean, plus the intro. I think this is an over 40-minute video. But I want to say thank you for joining me on this mini Elkhart tour. Hold on, Yes, I am familiar with some of the places there, such as the RV Museum, the Lerner Theater. I think there's a few other things that I saw too, and some parks that me and the wife want to visit. But other than those places, if you think there's any spots that I should check out, any businesses that I should go to, you know, let me know down in the comments. Okay, if you think that there's a town in Indiana that I should visit, you know, do a mini tour. You know, this is very, very low budget, obviously. You know, you know, until I can you know, add a little bit more to the budget so I can, you know, do more things and bring them to you guys on the YouTube. But yeah, let me know if there's any place that you would like me to visit. With that being said, like, share, subscribe. You know, if you want to support me, I do have a Patreon. You know, go ahead and follow me on the Facebook. I will post, of course, a link to this video on the Facebook. But that pretty much concludes this mini tour. I would say part 1 of the Elkhart Mini Tour 2023. Okay, with that being said, Prost, Salud, Slancha, Nazdrovia, cheers, and I will see you guys on the next one.